It is an Afghan, he goes by the call sign Legend, who is basically blowing the whistle on the current administration on how they are sending $40 million a week, and it's actually more, as you'll find out in a future episode, to the Taliban, who we fought for over 20 years. If I ever needed you guys to help me get the word out, this is it. This affects me, this affects you, this affects our country.
U.S. taxpayer money right now is funding the Taliban. Now, your viewers may be shocked and they may say, oh, Legend is lying. It can't be possible that I am with the resistance, so I may be biased.
We're now giving the Taliban $40 million a week. Did you know that?
I'm not surprised at all.
$40 million a week. Do you know what the government would have done if I would have done a $5 donation to the Taliban 10 years ago?
Cuffed and stuff.
They just admitted $239 million went to them.
I cannot assure the American people that their tax dollars are not funding the Taliban.
You're funding them. I'm funding them.
Right.
Everybody that's paying U.S. taxes. Commander Massoud, or do you know who that is?
I do.
By chance?
Yeah.
The leader of the Afghan resistance,
Yeah.
because this administration's sending $87 million a week over to the Taliban.
This other friend is a former U.S. Army soldier and citizen of Afghanistan. He recently revealed that the U.S. continues to send the Taliban $40 million weekly. Are you aware of this?
And the idea that we're now sending hundreds of billions of dollars to the Taliban after they've taken complete control of the country, and of course they've got a lot of our military equipment there, it's completely insane.
Well, let's discuss the $40 million weekly payment the United States is making to the Afghan central bank. And if it's fallen into Taliban hands, I think it's very timely since we're approaching our tax day. Let you know where some of your tax dollars are going. What's your thoughts on that?
The short answer, Your Excellency, is yes.
Congressman, you're introducing a bill in Congress that would stop the Taliban from getting U.S. tax dollars. I can't believe it. I'm sure all Americans watching right now cannot believe that that's even a headline that I'm having to ask you about this bill.
Our tax dollars are going to the Taliban. It's not just internet tinfoil hat-wearing people like Tim Burchett. This is actually going on.
Tim, you wrote up a bill. What was that initial bill?
You just basically cut off funding to the Taliban, taxpayers' dollars.
You've got to watch this State Department crowd. When Trump gets back in, he better clean house. He better go through there like Grant through Richmond.
We wanted to get in front of Congress to warn us about the oncoming threat that we're facing because we're funding the Taliban.
Yep.
And if it hadn't been for you and Legend and some others,
Scott Mann and Sarah Adams.
Yes.
I mean, we're funding them again, right?
I think we send like $40 million a week.
$40 million a week goes
so.
to Taliban.
Yes.
9/11 was a $500,000 budget.
Yep.
Now the government has come out and publicly said that they have accidentally given them $239 million.
And it's like I said, it's your tax dollars. It's your tax dollars going to the very individuals who killed hundreds and thousands of American soldiers, injured so many Americans, killed hundreds of thousands of Afghans, and right now they're hosting Al-Qaeda and ISIS and everyone else who are planning to attack you again. And you're funding it.
What you can bet on is that they are going to outdo the last attack, and they are going to do it at such a level of emotional impact that we will have no choice but to respond, because it's going to take us into a sympathetic state. And all of these folks that have written checks to the Taliban and done all these ill-advised policy moves, they'll just skulk back into the shadows. They'll disappear.
passed the House, and it's sitting there. Schumer won't even address it. And I've talked to multiple senators. They're going to try to attach it to this bill, attach it. Now, that should be, Americans should just come unglued. Do you think that'd be a #1 story with the legacy media?
So this isn't negligence.
It's by design. It looks that way from my point of view.
I don't see how you could see it any other way.
I agree. But then again, it's all up to the American people. It's people that I love so much. Give them this information. It's their government. Now, what you do at this point after you have investigated these matters, that's the only thing that matters.